Dontaesboxingnation, Dontaescookingnation. We are out here. Where are we at?
We're out here in Bangkok.
There you go. She's from Ireland. Matter of fact, introduce yourself to the world.
My name's Hannah and I'm from Ireland and I'm the biggest fan of Cooking Show.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Biggest fan?
And I'm from Ireland. Sorry.
No, I can edit it. Don't worry about it. All the way in Bangkok, Thailand, y'all.
No,
I'm gonna get
in
it right.
Ireland as well.
In Ireland, you hear that? DBN is international,
My
guys.
churros are really
Dontaesboxingnation, what's going on, guys? You know, I told you in my last video about Canelo Alvarez. If you were watching that fight against Gennady Golovkin this past weekend, and no one told you what their ages were, you wouldn't know which one of them was 40 years old. Now, since I said that, a lot more information has come out. Let me start by asking you this question right now. If I told you that one of the fighters after this fight, he said that he got tired towards the end of the fight and made other excuses. If I told you one of the fighters said that, would you think it was the 32-year-old or would you think it was the 40-year-old that would be saying this? Most people, if they didn't know the situation, you would clearly think it's the 40-year-old talking about how he got tired. That would make sense, right? If I asked you which one of these fighters threw the most punches in this fight, you would automatically assume it would be the 32-year-old Canelo that threw more punches, right? Well, you would be wrong. It was the 40-year-old who threw more punches than Canelo in this fight, believe it or not. Despite the fact that Gennady Golovkin threw 358 punches less than he did in the second fight, he still managed to throw more punches than Canelo in the third fight. Just think about that. And this is the exact reason why Chavez has this look on his face as he's listening to Canelo Alvarez explain to him how he was fatigued, he was tired, and this and that and this and that. And you know, Chavez is sitting over here trying to be respectful, but he's like, man, get out of here with all these excuses. That's what Chavez is really saying, because no one is buying these excuses, obviously. When Canelo Alvarez was completely dominated by a much older, smaller Floyd Mayweather at age 23, he said he was too young. Now Canelo Alvarez is 32. And leading up to this fight, he was saying, oh man, if me and Floyd were to fight today, I would beat him. Because now I'm at my peak, I'm this, I'm that. I got so much experience now. But yet he's talking about how he got fatigued. Coincidentally, that was the same excuse that Canelo Alvarez used for why he lost to Bivol. He said that he got tired. But he put a little bit of a spin on this excuse because he said that he actually injured his hand. And because he couldn't use his hand in training, that's the reason why he got tired. Which obviously makes no sense at all, because your conditioning has nothing to do with an injury. But the funny thing is the injury that Canelo Alvarez is claiming he has, it's not a broken hand, it's not some rotator cuff injury. He's talking about calluses on his hand. And not only that, but Canelo, he really messed up because he says that this is the same injury he had, if that's what you want to call it. He said he had this same injury when he fought Caleb Plant. And we've seen how that fight played out. Obviously, the calluses on his hand or wrist did not affect that performance when he was fighting against weaker opposition. You would think it would be the 40-year-old making excuses for why the 40-year-old lost. You wouldn't expect the 32-year-old Canelo Alvarez to be making excuses as if he lost the fight. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and translate the entire conversation that Canelo Alvarez had on this Spanish network. But I'm going to go ahead and actually play the audio first. And the reason why I want to play the audio, which is in Spanish, is because I want the Spanish speakers to see how accurate the translation is. But you know what? Matter of fact, since the clip is so long, let me go ahead and just give you guys the translation first. So the reporter, he asked Canelo Alvarez, how do you evaluate your performance in this contest, number 3 against Gennady Golovkin? Canelo, he says, look, I did what I could. I gave what was on my hands. Which is basically like saying, look, I did the best I could do considering the circumstances. So then he says, I gave my best and I was satisfied with what I did and with the result. Obviously, we have to see the fight, but despite the fact that I have to have surgery on my hand due to my injuries, I put up a great fight and I am very happy with the result. The truth is that I am happy. I gave my best, and that is the most important thing. Once again, Canelo Alvarez is talking like he lost the fight. These are things that fighters say after they lose a fight. When you say something like, I gave my best, and that is the most important thing, I mean, what do you tell someone when they lose? You say, look, you did your best, and that's the most important thing. That's all that matters is you did your best, right? Now, I'm not saying that Canelo thought he lost this fight deep down. I'm just saying Canelo Alvarez, he knows, even though he won the fight, it was a very, very poor performance against an opponent that was 40 years old. And just keep in mind, the first two fights with Golovkin ended in controversy. So this was supposed to be Canelo Alvarez's best performance, especially given the fact that Golovkin is 40 years old. He was supposed to beat this man decisively, regardless if he knocked him out or not. He was supposed to beat this man in convincing fashion, which he did not do. So then the reporter, he says, what is the problem with your hand exactly? Canelo, he says, it's like cleaning the meniscus in the knee. I also have many calluses here, many excesses. With a laser, they're going to burn them. And then we'll see if surgery is required. But if so, it'll take about 6 weeks to recover. And this is where Chavez jumps in, holding nothing back when he asks Canelo Alvarez questions. Chavez, he says, Canelo, honestly, I saw you a little tired at the end. I didn't see you with the same power that we are used to. What happened? Did you struggle to make weight? Now, keep in mind, guys, I want you to pay attention to the order of these questions. If you notice, Chavez, he asked this question after Canelo had already made excuses for why he performed the way he did. And Chavez still asked him this question, which means Chavez is not buying the excuse. So Canelo, he responds to Chavez and he says, no, I did not struggle with weight. As I said, sometimes you can't train 100% as you want when you have an injury and give your best in running. But in the end, you have to throw punches to gain conditioning because, well, it's boxing. It's not a marathon. So my hand didn't leave me 100% good, but now I'm calm with the result. And now I have to take care of my hand to recover and come back stronger next year. Now, I'm not going to read the entire transcript because some of this stuff is Canelo Alvarez just repeating himself. He would revert back to using the excuse for why he lost, but the only thing he added the last time he said it was, this is the same injury he had when he fought Caleb Plant. Okay, so fast forwarding and moving along. So then the reporter, he says, are you going to fight Bivol again? Canelo says, yes, of course. That's the idea. Obviously, it all depends on the result. I want Zurdo Ramirez to win. The truth is that I want Zurdo Ramirez to win. Hopefully he wins. And if he wins, then obviously we won't have a rematch. But at the end of the day, that's the idea. Right now, the most important thing is to have the surgery and recover and return to training. Canelo Alvarez really said, hopefully he wins. And if he wins, then obviously we won't have the rematch. Translation is, hopefully he wins, so I don't have to take the rematch. Guys, this is not the mentality of a fighter who truly believes he's pound for pound the best fighter in the world, or even one of the best fighters in the world. Him saying that he's not going to fight his mandatory David Benavidez, which would be his toughest challenge at 168, that is not the mentality of a fighter who truly believes he's pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world. So I didn't read the entire transcript because it's pretty long, but this was the main things that Canelo Alvarez said in the interview. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up, guys. I'm on to the next one.
Mira, di lo que pude, di lo que estuvo en mis manos, di lo mejor de mí, me quedo satisfecho con lo que hice, con el resultado. Obviamente tenemos que ver la pelea, pero a pesar de que tengo que hacer mi cirugía en la mano, de mis males, en mis lesiones, di una gran pelea y me quedo muy bien con el resultado. La verdad que estoy contento di lo mejor de mí y eso es lo más importante.
¿Cuál es el problema en la mano exactamente, Saúl?
Es como si fuera una limpieza de los meniscos en la rodilla. También tengo aquí muchas callosidades, muchos excesos. Con láser me los van a quemar y pues requiero esa cirugía y 6 semanas de recuperación.
Saúl, honestamente, te vi un poco cansado al final.
Sí.
No te vi con la misma potencia que nos tienes acostumbrados. ¿Qué fue lo que pasó, Saúl? ¿Batallaste para el peso?
No batallé para el peso. Como te digo, a veces no se puede entrenar al 100% como uno quiere cuando tienes una lesión. Das lo mejor de ti corriendo, pero al final de cuentas tienes que tirar madrazos,
sí,
¿no?
Sí, claro.
Para agarrar condición, porque pues es boxeo, no es maratón. Entonces, mi mano no me dejó bien al 100%, pero ahora sí que me quedo tranquilo con el resultado y ahora sí que cuidarme la mano, a recuperarme y volver fuerte el siguiente año.
¿Va a volver a pelear con Bivol?
Sí, claro, esa es la idea. Obviamente todo depende del resultado. Quiero que gane el zurdo Ramírez.
Está todo dicho.
La verdad es que quiero que gane el zurdo Ramírez. Ojalá que gane él, y si gana él, pues obviamente ya no tendremos la revancha. Pero al final de cuentas, esa es la idea. Ahorita lo más importante es hacerme la cirugía, recuperarme y volver a entrenar.
Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. So to get this hookup, make sure you follow and contact my man ScalpCarolinas on Instagram. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, fever blisters, diabetic ulcers, this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Deki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodeki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.